let's have a look at what we've bought. And I went for this, a Maserati Grand Cabrio, for which I paid just under £26,000. Richard Hammond has bought this. It's an Aston Martin DB9 V12 Volante, which cost him £22,000. And Jeremy Clarkson, this, the Jaguar F-Type V6S, £25,000.
And needless to say, we've just had a text from Mr. Willman.
Go on.
It says you will now turn your purchases into desert races. And when you've finished, you will report to the railway station in the town of Choum, which is in Mauritania.
Where's Mauritania?
Perhaps he's misspelt Mauritius.
Well, it isn't anywhere. It's not a real place. Well, Mauritania.
What are you on about?
Oh, come on. The Lion, the Witch and the Looking Glass, Alice through the wardrobe, all of that. You go through the back of the wardrobe, you say a cheery hello to the talking lion as you pass in, and you watch out for the people running about with playing cards on as tabards.
You've got C.S. Lewis echoing around in there.
Yes.
Lewis Carroll.
They were not travel books.
You don't think this place exists?
There's no such place as Mauritania.
It turns out, however, there is such a place as Mauritania. It's a former French colony in West Africa. And this is what it looks like. 2/3 of this vast country, it's 4 times bigger than the UK, has been buried by the Sahara Desert, which means that for the most part, it is mile after mile of nothing and nobody. But here, in the middle of this gigantic sea of superheated emptiness, there is a railway line. And it does pass through the small town we'd been told to report to. Choum. The next morning, after a short and hot drink-free sleep, we assembled to examine our modifications, starting with my Jaguar F-Type. I'm a bit disappointed, if I'm honest. It hasn't worked out quite how I imagined.
What did you imagine?
Well, you know, in the 70s and 80s, kids, when I say kids, us.
Us,
Yeah. You'd buy flared wheel arches for your Escorts, and then you couldn't afford to buy big enough wheels to fill them.
Yes, net result, it looks ridiculous.
And then when you come round
It's
the back...
roughly 18 feet wide at the back.
If I hadn't bothered with the wheel arch...
Why did you put the wheel arches on, given that you haven't got wheels to fill them anyway?
But, despite everything, it's still an...
Oh, that's good, actually.
I've changed the badge.
No, you've changed the badge.
And then I've got the hornbill on the bonnet, because I've lifted the air filters up.
Yeah.
Then I've gone for the Stratos light pack.
You're busy explaining your ugly baby, aren't you? These are aesthetics.
Yes, and when it comes to aesthetics, Hammond, you're on very, very thin ice.
You are, actually.
Hold on a moment.
No, there is no holding on a moment. You've brought a Metro cab.
Do you want to know what it is?
It's an Aston Martin DB9,
Yes.
ruined. The ruined is what you should call it. Mine is mildly spoiled. Yours is totally ruined.
Noise, noise, noise. Headlines. It's an Aston Martin you can live in. That is a tent. It folds out. It's a house. I live at #1 Aston Martin Street.
That's a tent?
That's a tent. This is beautiful. It looks like a shark. It looks stealthy. It looks like...
Sorry, that wasn't...
It's filled with potential, and that potential is to live in it.
And why have you given it carbon fibre breasts?
Because I've raised the air intakes at the front.
Oh, so it's the same as my hornbill arrangement?
Yeah, so that's what that's doing. And then I've raised the suspension.
You've got your lighting rig.
That's enough. Can I say we will go and look at my car?
No, I don't want to talk about your car.
No, you do, because...
No, I don't.
This way...
Well done, James. That is unquestionably a good-looking car.
It does.
You've even put nice stripes on it.
I have.
I mean, I've never liked the look of this car.
But now you do.
That actually is improved.
Where's your... How have you got your air filters up?
by... Actually, the bonnet is different. This is a sort of facsimile of the MC bonnet, if you remember the gigantic mid-engine supercar, and it has extra vents in it, and it has a slot there.
This is like Christmas morning and you got a better present than me. I don't feel very good.
It's exactly what it is. I'm so cross that your car looks better than my car.
Well, of course it does,
It looks damn near as good as mine.
And what's with the roll cage?
in case it rolls over.
So, oh, hang on. Here it is.
Text?
Text from Mr. Willman.
Go on.
You have driven across deserts in the past, but this is the big one. This is the Sahara, the biggest desert in the world. With that warning ringing in our ears, we fired up our engines. And knowing only that to get to Dakar we had to keep heading southwest, plunged into the Sahara.
Doing the Dakar in an Aston.
Despite Hammond's enthusiasm, there was no doubt that our cars faced a daunting task. Because they really hadn't been conceived to do this kind of thing. We brought lightly modified supermodels to a kickboxing championship.
The thing about my car is it actually started life when Maserati was part of Ferrari. But then, halfway through its development, Fiat, who owned the whole lot, decided that Maserati should be part of Alfa Romeo. So Maserati started again and used a chopped-up Quattroporte to make this.
The F-Type was a bit of a hodgepodge. It started out in life as an XJ saloon, and then they cut it down to make the XK, then they cut it down again to make the F-Type. So it's really a cut and shut of a cut and shut. The engine's a bit of a mangled up mishmash as well, because they wanted a V6 but couldn't afford to sort of develop their own, so they got their V8 and just chopped 2 cylinders off it. There we are, V6. It works. And I've got to be honest, it does, especially with the supercharger, which you can hear.
My car was actually styled at Jaguar's design centre in a corner of the office behind a curtain. Genuine. And then it was put together using quite a lot of Ford-based parts. But it is still an Aston Martin. And many feel it's the first proper Aston Martin since the old DB days. Oh, Satnav's woken up. Just south of Manchester, apparently.